Hello and welcome back to Pentiment. We are playing as Magdalene, and not Andreas as we have been for the rest of the game. I'm going to reserve my judgment on this. My initial thought is, something's changed, I don't like it. It was very sudden. It was like, Andreas was here, and now he's gone. And now we're jumped forward 20 years, and the entire story has moved on, and it's kind of like, it's just very sudden. It's a little jarring. But I'm wondering whether they're going to do this again. Like, maybe they're going to say, hey, you're going to play as Magdalene for, 30 years, and then you're going to jump forward again to see, another Tassing. We're going to advance forward the time with all the new, younger characters that we're meeting. Or maybe this is the end of the game as Magdalene, and we're just going to... This is basically just a chapter to see Andreas's choices come to fruition. It's just interesting to see where they take it. I'm imagining in my head that they're probably not done with Andreas, which is why they haven't given him a proper send-off. I'm imagining that something in Magdalene's story is going to connect with something in Andreas's story, and that's how we're going to get a proper payoff for Andreas. And that's why I'm reserving judgment, because I haven't seen the proper payoff yet. If it's just he died then, and that's the last we hear of him apart from this mural, then that's not great. But, maybe there was another path through, because it is our choices, that felt better in the game. We also don't know what happened to Caspar. Caspar was with us. Does that mean Caspar is dead? Or does that mean that Caspar is somewhere else? Maybe he's in town somewhere. Maybe he's going to come in from Salzburg at some point. Who knows? But it's something to think about. Anyway, we're playing as Magdalene. Do you remember who Magdalene was? Well, I kinda do. We have myths and legends, bookkeeping, barbs, and a polyglot. Now, it was pointed out, and I think I also kind of agree with it, that myths and legends probably comes from the book that we got her when she was younger. I think that probably determined her character trait, which we kind of had a feeling that we were doing something like that with the way Andreas was speaking. He was like, you can choose a book, and this will be the book she has growing up. There was definitely a little bit of that going on there, but yeah, expecting to play as her, not at all. I am also thinking, because this has Tassing in the center, like how Andreas had Nuremberg, I'm wondering whether we're going to get some more shields at the side, and potentially they're going to be further on in the game, she's going to go off to somewhere, and then, get some more things going on. But anyway, not right now. Right now we have to write a letter. A letter to Esther. Alright, where to begin? I should write to Esther. Dearest Esther. Let's see how we're going to say this. We did say to our dad that we were going to send his regards across, so we'll do this at the start. I hope you and your family are well. Dad sends his regards to your parents, like usual. I've spent the last few days collecting oak galls with Sister Gertrude. I don't suppose you have the chance to do that in Prague. Sister Gertrude has been teaching me how to grind them into a smooth ink. It's difficult work, but you'll find no better ink anywhere in Bavaria. I'll send along a bottle with this letter. Oh, did I mention Dad started a new project? He's painting a mural of Tassing's history in our new rat house to memorialize the revolt. The whole thing has me thinking about my own family history, past, present, and future. Do we want to take over the printing shop, or do we want to leave Tassing? You know what? We've heard about myths and legends. I think we want to leave. I don't think I want to stay in Tassing forever. It's a quaint place to grow up, but I'm 20 now. Also, that gives us a time frame for how long it's been since Andreas was here. That's 20 years. So since the start of the game, it's been 27 years. So that took them a long time to get the rat house, because she said new rat house, right? So it's taken them 20 years to build it? That seems like quite a lot. I mean, how recent could it be for her to count it as a new rat house? At most, it could be 2 years old, I'd think. Beyond that, it's not really new anymore. It's just the rat house. So, let's say it was 18 years since Andreas was there to build the rat house. I suppose there was probably quite a lot of time where, people weren't really wanting to build it because it's where Otto died. Also, quite a lot of people probably died in that whole, you know, the Duke's men coming to slaughter everyone event. Yeah. So I suppose maybe they had to wait for the younger folks to grow older to then be like, yeah, we're going to build the rat house properly or something. But anyway, yes. 20 years. Dad says I should take over the shop, but I want to do more with my life. Not just take over a print shop in some tiny town in the Alps. If I married a master printer, then I could become part of the Printers Guild. Then I'd be able to send Dad my extra earnings and make a name for myself in one of the cities. And yes, before you break the nib off your pen, I will come visit you in Prague, I promise. I'll try to make time to visit before winter. Life has been bustling here. Dad's been busy with the Rat House mural, so I've taken over in the workshop. I'm sure it will be a sight to behold once it's finished. Write back to me soon. All my love. Magda. So that's how she prefers her name shortened. She doesn't like Mags, but Magda is fine. Okay, good to know. And now we get our clock. Go to bed. I can do that. That's one of my skills. Go to sleep. Do we get to go to some dream fantasy land, or maybe? No, we're woken up at night. Ugh. Dad? Dad? Magdalene. Dad! Hang on, I'm coming. Oh God, he's not dead, is he? Oh, he's dead. Oh dear. Yet another casualty of Andreas. Now you might be like, how could I possibly blame Andreas for this when he's been dead for 20 years? No, I blame Andreas because every single person that likes Andreas gets killed. You had Brother Piero, liked Andreas, got killed. I mean, he did die of old age, but you know, he got accused of murder. I suppose actually we have to go back. Baron Rothvogel, liked Andreas, murdered. Brother Piero, almost murdered, died of old age. That's gotta be Andreas's fault. Then you have Otto, likes Andreas, dead. Lenthart, likes Andreas, dead. Peter, liked Andreas, you guessed it, dead. Klaus, the last living person who actually likes Andreas, dead. You see where I'm going here? It's basically his fault. Anyway, not good. Magdalene. What happened? Are you alright? You're bleeding. Someone came into the house. They hit me over the head. I'll go get Dr. Stoltz. Try not to move, Dad. Magdalene, it's not safe. Whoever attacked me. The wound is too deep for me to take care of on my own. We need Dr. Stoltz. Magdalene, be careful. I will. I'll be right back, I promise. Well, that is not good. That's quite a lot of hours later. I'm hoping he's alive, then. Okay, he survived, I think. Do you know why anyone would want to attack you, Klaus? No. Maybe someone didn't like one of the books I sold them. Are you sure you didn't see a shadow and hit your head on the printing press? Come on, Jorg, you saw the workshop. Somebody was looking for something. A burglar in Tassing? That's preposterous. Well, if it wasn't an attack, what was it? Enough. It was a deliberate blow to the head, unless any of you wish to debate my diagnosis. No, of course not. No. As I thought. Truthfully, Klaus, I'm surprised the blow didn't kill you. You have a strong skull. It's a grave injury. Magdalene, you'll need to take care of your father. Obviously. Of course, the mural will have to be called off. Klaus, you absolutely cannot get out of bed. No, it has to be done. This is too important. Just give me some time to rest. I'll find a way to make it work. I don't think we need to cancel the entire project. Can't we just wait? Klaus, your health comes first. Anyway, we haven't been able to agree on what the mural should be. Indeed, it might be best to abandon the entire idea. With respect, Father Thomas, you are not on this council. Yes, just offer an opinion. I can paint the mural. What, Mags? Quit joking around. Well, I know you want to help your dad, but aren't you too young for something this big? What were you gonna say? I've been painting since I could walk. I've been old enough to run the prints off by myself. My dad trusts me to illustrate the books. Or I'm older than He's on the town council and he doesn't even do anything. Yes, go for the kill. Yes, I do. I do plenty for the town. Painting a mural this large and complicated will take lots of skill and experience. So that's why we were having your dad make it. He's been making art forever. I agree with Paul. Klaus needs home care. You're best suited for that, Magdalene, not a mural. What is that supposed to mean? Well, are you sure you're up for it? Physically, I mean. It's quite demanding. You'd be up on the scaffolding and could fall. Let's see what we're gonna say. What would any of you know about it? Yeah, we're abrasive. Dad and I are the only people here who have done this work. I can do it, Dad. Ugh. If you don't trust Magdalene to do the mural, to hell with the lot of you. Klaus. If you don't trust her, you don't trust me. I'll never do any work for this council again. Alright, I say we let her. It doesn't look like we have much of a choice. Very well. Alright, Magdalene, you can do it. But you still need to talk to us about what you're doing, alright? Of course. Thanks, Magdalene. Rest up, Klaus. I'll do my best, Jörg. Okay. Magdalene, just a moment. Yes, what is it? Your father is lucid right now, but his injury is severe. His current demeanor is misleading. What are you saying? Magdalene, there is damage to his brain. Oh. He may have a few weeks, maybe even a few months left. But he's not going to survive. Can't we take him to see a surgeon? No, he can't be moved in this condition. In fact, he shouldn't move at all. Even if he could, I don't think the finest Italian surgeons would know how to deal with trauma like this. So he's just going to die? And there's nothing I can do about it. You can make him comfortable and you can enjoy the time you have left. But time will run out before long. Well, that's not good. It's definitely not good. The attack. Dad needs to be able to see the mural in its finished form. But I don't know how much time he has left. Werner said it could be a few months or... God protect him. I'll pick up where Dad left off. He wanted to paint the history of Tassing from its earliest days to the revolt. I'll start with the earliest part of Tassing's history, the pagan tribes and the Romans. Then I'll move on to the founding of the Abbey and Tassing Saints. After that, I should find a way to represent our recent history, depicting the revolt as important to Dad. People in Tassing might know some of the town's history, but not all of it. Dad said the library in Kiersau had those records. He was going to write to the last prioress to see if she had any information. I should write to her now, while I'm thinking about it. Okay, so do we need to do this now? Is this... Okay, so this is our objective, but can I leave and do something else? No. Okay, so we can't leave. We can't investigate. Alright, we should just do it. Okay, cool. So the last prioress. It's either got to be Sister Illuminata, or it's got to be Zedena. I guess it would be Sister Illuminata looking at the map. Just because Kiersau Abbey doesn't seem to, you know, really exist in the same way anymore. So yeah, let's see. Alright, where to begin? Dad told me the last prioress at Kiersau knew something about the old history of Tassing. He said she became the abbess of a convent in Bologna. Mother Illuminata? Yes, at Santa Margherita. I should write to her. A small town in the Republic of Genoa, along the coast of the Ligurian Sea. Cool. Let's do this. Okay, what were we going to say? Obviously, we say former prioress at Kiersau Abbey. That is her title, not librarian. My name is Magdalene Druckeren. I do not believe we have ever met, as I was very young when you left Kiersau. I'm the daughter of Klaus Drucker, Magdalene. We are... these are a choice. I thought this was one sentence. Or, like, this was all one thing. So I'm the daughter of Klaus Drucker, Magdalene. We're printers from Tassing, or... Here's who I am. I don't believe we met. I was very young when you left Kiersau. No, let's specifically say we're the daughter of Klaus. And who we are. You were acquainted with my father. He bought many books from the library before that terrible fire consumed the place. I'm writing because my father and I are creating a mural in the Tassing rat house. I'm going to tell the history of our community and of Kiersau as well. We have only legends and folklore since, of course, all of Kiersau's books were destroyed in the fire. I was hoping you could tell us something about the early history of the town, when the Romans were here. If you know anything about the early history of the abbey itself, we would also be glad to hear it. We would appreciate any help you could give us. We hope you are well. Spoke highly of you, especially as you cared for the sisters after the fire. Spoke highly of you, especially how you cared for the library and its books. Spoke highly of your piety and intellect. If you would not mind a personal question, was it hard to return to Italy after being here for so many years? I think we mentioned the library and the books, because we think we remember from Andreas that Illuminata was very into the books. And then, of course, you have to say, God bless you. Magdalene. Good. That seemed like a solid letter. It's now 7 o'clock, I think. If I want to finish the mural before Christmas, I should start planning tomorrow. I should head to bed and get as much rest as I can. Am I allowed to leave? No. Should we go up and see our father? Yes, we should. You know, just see how he's doing. Izzy's the only other person we can speak to. Magdalene. Hey, Dad. How are you feeling? Can I get you anything? No, I'm fine. You go on. Alright, I'll come back and check on you later. Well, still seems lucid. No signs of brain damage there. Okay. Moving on. Time to go to bed again. It's been a long day. I suppose it has. We woke up, found our dad almost dead. Got the doctor, spent all day arguing with the town council, wrote a letter, and, you know, it's time to go to sleep. Alright. Gotta fluff the hair a little bit. Then off. Let's... Oh, we're going. Okay, we're zooming through. We're in November. November 5th. November 6th. Ah, Mistress Druckerin, I have a few letters here addressed to you. This is the Reichspostman. Take care now. Thank you, sir. Mother Illuminata wrote back to me. I hope her response helps me paint the mural. Mistress Druckerin, thank you for your letter. I hope this reply finds you and your father in good health. Should have probably mentioned that. I remember you both, as your father would carry you between the rows of our library in its final years. I also remember your late mother and brother. God keep their souls. While we did have some books that discussed Tassing's past, it's likely they were as mythological as what your neighbours believe. That said, I remember one of the peasants, Tillman Kreutzer, read about the history of the town. I know he died during the revolt, but perhaps his family knows some of what he learned. I should also say that it's not true that all of Kiersau's books were destroyed by the fire. Andreas Maler managed to save some from the flames. God rest his soul. In the aftermath of that terrible night, cataloguing and preserving the surviving books was not at the top of any of our minds. Even so, the topic has stirred a memory within me. Several years before the fire, there was a death at Kiersau, the murder of Baron Rothvogel. He had mentioned something about finding a copy of Historia Tassii, a comprehensive chronicle of your home. I had forgotten about it until now because the murder dominated all of our thoughts in the days and weeks that followed. It troubles me now because I recall that the late Father Thomas... Let me try it again. It troubles me now because I recall that the late Father Matthias was also reading a copy of Historia Tassii shortly before he died. We never accounted for either book's whereabouts. They may have been hidden somewhere in the library and went up with everything else. Perhaps Prior Ferennik took it from the Baron after the murder. Ferennik had an interest in books of all sorts, of course, but it seems like an odd thing to do in the moment. We think that Martin stole it, as in the real Martin. Then again, only God knows what he did and why he God knows what he did and why he did it. Niklaus Heberle, the Baron's manservant, believed that it may have been stolen by the town thief, Martin Bauer. This guy. If Martin is still alive, I would ask him if he knows where the book is. But we know that Martin is not Martin, so Martin will not know where whether Martin stole the book and whether Martin knows where Martin left it. Got a bit confused there by the number of Martins. Hopefully he didn't trade it for a mug of beer on his way out of Tassing. If the man has passed from this world, perhaps his family knows where the book wound up. As for the history of the Abbey, I fear that was also lost in the blaze. However, as sacristan, Prior Matthew learned a great deal about the subject. Appointed official in a monastery responsible for maintaining the sacristy, where the vestments and objects used in ceremonies are kept. The sacristan is often also the treasurer. And he's now prior, interesting, of the Abbey or of somewhere else. I have not kept in contact with him, but I know he is now the Archdeacon of Sion. Oh, okay, well, I guess he's not here anymore. I actually don't even know if the Abbey is here. We haven't really gone and checked. Once a free imperial city of the Holy Roman Empire, Sion became the capital of Valais when the canton joined the Swiss Confederacy following the Swabian War in 1499. He is no longer a Benedictine, but uses his family name, Fausigny Schwa. Shui? Okay, so he's no longer a member of these sets of monks. He's joined a different, like, religious organization. Interesting. If you write to him soon, your letter may reach him before snow covers Valais. A canton in the Swiss Alps, Valais became an associate member of the Swiss Confederation in 1529. Please convey my best wishes to your father. He was a good friend to the abbey in its better years. Despite the violence that occurred, I held no ill will towards anyone from Tassing. I pray that you have seen better days since that night, and that God forgives the many errors we made. God bless you as well. Mother Illuminata, Abbess of Santa Margherita. Interesting. So is he suggesting we write a letter, right, to Matthew? I'm wondering whether a lot of what Magdalene is going to do is going to be through these letters. Like, it's going to be less exploring and more like phrasing letters. Interesting. Ooh, Esther wrote to me as well. My dear Magda, my parents were glad to hear from your father. Please tell him they wish to hear from him soon. Speaking of printing, your ink was well received indeed. I've made several prints with it. They look lovely on the wall. Alicia's taken to making his own ink from scraps he found around the house after he saw yours. Mother was furious when he spent several pfennigs trying to find lapis at the market. She set him scrubbing the floors for it. Took him 3 days. I'm glad you're keeping busy, even though it keeps you from visiting. Father says we'll have room whenever you decide to make an appearance. Though, really, if you don't plan to stay in Tassing, you ought to come sooner rather than later. There are plenty of beautiful young Christian men around town, printers and academics alike. Or maybe something else. You'd have your pick. Prague is a good city for me as well. Before the expulsion, there was a handsome man at a synagogue, Simmons, who caught my eye. His father is a merchant, and he's a doctor. He went to the University of Padua. Can you believe it? I'd quite like to marry him, if I can find him again. Anyway, I think you'd have even better luck than me. The boys would swoon at a beautiful blonde artist from the Alps. Please keep us abreast of your father's mural. We'll have to come see it when it's finished. Blessings. Esther. I'll have to write Esther back tonight. I should head home and check on Dad. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Hey Dad, how are you feeling? Magdalene. Sitting upright is still a struggle, I'm afraid. The dizziness makes my stomach turn, so I'd rather not eat at the moment. Are you sure I can bring up something light, like milk or broth? No, I can't stomach anything just yet. But tell me, where are you off to? I need to get started on the first part of the mural today, the old history. Mother Illuminata didn't know much about Tassing's early history, but she did give me a few places to start. I'm going to ask Black Till if his grandfather told him any stories. Illuminata said he used to read about the Romans. Oh, so Till was the farmer that we met, and apparently died during the fire, or during that night. Not great. Mother Illuminata, Magdalene. Did I call her sister? I must have said sister. Anyway. Ugh, fine, Mother Illuminata. No, I don't need to see her face again. She does look very sad, though. Young Kreutzer has mentioned those tales from time to time, yes. He comes by to borrow books now and then. Usually when he's found some interesting old ruin out in the fields. You might ask him about that. Hale Peter's always harumphed about how no one paid attention to the old ways anymore, too. So, ill Peter's still around. He's doing well for himself. He's been ill for about, 27 years, so that's good. I'm sure he'll have some stories to tell about old Tassing. You might stop to talk to him. I didn't think of that. Thanks, Dad. Of course, Magda. It's nice to feel useful, even if I am stuck here in bed. Nonsense, I'm just glad you're awake. You might talk to Smokey too. The old charcoal burner seems to know more about what's in the woods around town than anyone else. That, and he's a known gossip. He's always been kind to me when I chat with him. I'm certain he'll know something about the ruins. You may hear something worth your while at any rate. I'll go talk to him. What about the ruins or the mines? I can't just use books and stories alone. I want to explore whatever is left over from the Romans and before. The salt mine and Roman ruins are the oldest parts of Tassing, so it only makes sense to see what they left behind. Ah, you take after your mother. She was always thorough in her research. You always said that's what good artists do, Dad. Be careful, alright? I know the twins mess around near the salt mine. I don't want you getting hurt. I don't know why Jorg doesn't keep them in line. Always making trouble, those two. At least Artemis actually knows how to read. I don't think Apollo can even spell his name. Obviously, we're going to be mean. The boy struggles with his letters, Magdalene. Don't shame him for it. Not everyone is a printer's daughter. Don't forget your other chores while you're running around town, alright? You still have a household to run. I'll get to them, Dad. Good, good. I'd better get going if I want to do all that today. I'll see you later, Dad. Good luck, Magdalene. Okay, we're off. Okay, it didn't seem to say we had a time limit, but I'm assuming we have the same time limit the game has gotten us accustomed to. So if I go out of Tassing. Oh no, these are just objectives. These aren't like investigating. These are objectives. So we might have to go everywhere. Okay. I think obviously the Blacktail, that's his name. I think he's obviously the first one to speak to, but we'll see. Right, I'm gonna go this way. You know what? Let's go in here first. Let's just randomly go wherever we want to go. Hello, Thomas? Oh, God bless you, Magdalene. And you, Father Thomas. You look troubled. What's the matter? I seem to have lost the key to the tabernacle. Without it, we'll have to go without the Eucharist on Sunday. Can you borrow some from poor Clarice? Order of contemplative nuns surrounded by Saints Clare and Francis of Assisi. As the name suggests, the poor Clares are devoted to extreme poverty. They subsist purely on the donation of alms. Okay, it's only bread, right? Surely Gret wouldn't mind baking an extra loaf. Yeah, let's be somebody who doesn't quite get all the religious ceremony. Magdalene, surely you know better than that. The Eucharist is the very body and blood of Christ. It dwells within the tabernacle between masses. I cannot leave the blessed sacrament to rot within the tabernacle. I must find the key. And if I cannot, well, perhaps I must prepare another loaf. I won't leave Tassing's sanctification at risk. I'll keep an eye out for it, Father. Thank you, Magdalene. Please let me know if you have any ideas as to where it might be. God bless you. Oh, he's off. Oh, hello. I wonder if Sister Amelie has seen the tabernacle key anywhere. I should talk with her. I suppose. You had any visions of doom recently? God bless you, Magdalene. And God bless you, Sister Amelie. What brings you to the church this time of day? Lighting another votive candle for your father? Votive candle. Small candles lit during prayer in churches, symbolizing a specific offering or request on the behalf of the prayer giver. I was hoping to speak with you, sister. Have you seen Father Thomas's tabernacle key anywhere? He's misplaced it. I'm afraid I have not. Everything in the church has been as it should be. Though I did hear the 2 Gertner children come in last evening. I did not rise, but I heard their whispering for a moment, and left as suddenly as they came. Why didn't you say anything? I didn't think anything of it. Many people come into the church throughout the week. This is a sacred space, and the people of Tassing respect it as such. They respect my privacy in this place, and I respect theirs. Why tell me this now? Because while I do not make a habit of meddling, I know those 2 do. Because you said Father Thomas had lost his key. Their intentions last night may have been pure. If not, however, it would be Christian to remind them that theft is against the Lord's commandments. Well. Of course. I might go have a chat. I might go have a chat with them. I advise that you do what you feel is right in your heart. Thank you, sister. God bless you. God bless you, Magdalene. Okay. Well, we can now head off. Let's go. Well, I could tell Father Thomas, but I don't want to. Can I head into the Muller house? Of course. Like, I'm not going to wait for, you know, an invitation in. I'm just going to walk myself in. So there's a bunch of toy horses and things. There's a lot of drawings on the wall. So this place has changed a little bit since before. No gun on the wall. There's like it's a tapestry of a deer. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot since Lenthart was in charge. I guess it's Paul's mill now. Hello. Obviously, you know. Very important to do that. Hello. Good morning, Magdalene. How's the mural coming along? Well, I think I'm off to start the first part of the mural today. I'll paint the founding of the Tassing and the Romans. Well, you won't want for any models. Tassing is littered with Roman ruins. It's almost a nuisance. What sort of mural are you creating, Magdalene? I believe Klaus was planning on a fresco. We'll start with the intonatio, then paint the fresco over it so I have a clear consistency. There's a few different techniques, but I think a fresco suits the rat house wall the best. Or why is the council planning to interfere with how I mix my paints? You know what? Andreas, he's talking all about this. Magdalene, immediately she's going to be like, why? You think I can't do it? Is the council planning to interfere with how I mix my paints? Not at all, I was merely curious. I thought that perhaps Kraft could slack some extra lime for the plaster. Since when did the town miller know so much about art? It's been an interest of mine since childhood, but my father disapproved. After my mother and I left Tassing, we stayed with her family for a few months before we heard what happened. Your father's friend, Andreas, he encouraged me to draw. While we were away, I studied in my uncle's library. I've collected books about various art styles since we returned. Let's say, I can't imagine what I would have done if Dad hadn't let me learn how to print and paint. This is the perfect reply for Magdalene, in my view. And I'm not going to overanalyze everything, but this is perfect because, one, it fits she likes her father out of anybody. Like, you know, he's the only person she really likes. And it also fits that she doesn't care about Paul in the slightest. She's about, you know, what she's doing. So, yes, perfect. So, like Dad, like herself. Oh, it didn't stop me. I just became better and better at hiding my art. That's why Anna and I decided that whatever Andreas and Ulrike show interest in, we'll support it. He called his son Andreas? Wait, and he married Anna? Wait, was that Anna not the person who stole our hat? Okay, interesting. It may not have been something they can make a life from, but I'd rather nurture that interest. Ah well, anyway, I'm glad the mural is going well. Forgive my son questioning about it. Been so busy preparing for the council's next meeting, I haven't had as much time with Anna as usual. She says I get a bit frantic when I'm overwhelmed. Is the council working on something new? We're considering yearly maintenance checks on every house in Tassing. The idea's had quite a bit more pushback than we'd anticipated. Obviously, like, I don't need to read the rest. Obviously we're doing this, but let me just see what else we got. I can't imagine why. I'd certainly love it if my neighbours knows their way into my house each year. I can understand the utility of the proposition, but it might feel like a nuisance. New ideas always face some kind of opposition. No, obviously we go for the barb. Getting pushback against something you want to do. God, how horrible it must be for you. Your point is taken, Magdalene. We agreed to let you paint the mural. In any case, the matter is far from resolved. I can imagine spring will come before anything is actually done. I'd better get back to work. Thank you for letting me interrupt your day, Magdalene. God bless you. Until later, Paul. Ah, right. We can't go to the Roman ruins from here anymore. That would have been great. Alright, what have we got here? Statue of St. Moritz. You know what? Oh, wait, we can look at this. We haven't looked at this before. Snow is creeping down the mountains. Winter will be here soon. Ah, okay. Can I go to the abbey? You can. Interesting. Now, it's definitely run down from where it was. Look at this. This is completely run down and completely leaved over. Obviously, nobody is living in any of these buildings. We know people must be at the convent because Sister Gertrude was there. But yeah, nobody at all here. I guess we can speak to the people at the convent, you know, not being a man and all. Let's go to the shrine first. Hey, the hand's here. The hand of St. Moritz. The poor Clares take care of it now that the Benedictines are gone. Ah, so the Benedictine monks left, but the poor Clares are still here and they're running the convent. Got it. Martha, hello. You're new. Oh, hello, Magda. You wouldn't happen to be going to the convent. Perhaps later. What brings you here? I don't know if I should talk about this. I'm thinking about joining the poor Clares. I never expected Martha to become a sister. She's always been so timid. This could be a good choice for her. Perhaps I should encourage her, or such a dramatic change might be too much for her. Maybe I should talk her out of it. Let's say it's too much for her. Carl needs help around the house, and she can still marry into a good family. Still, is it really my place to tell her what to do? Let's say, why on earth would you want to do that? Be honest, what do I have to look forward to? With Dad's injury and me unwed at 25, older than all the boys in town. If they don't see me as a sister, they'll see me as a mom. And when Dad dies, not anytime soon, God willing, I won't be able to claim the farm. I'll lose my home, and with Anton gone, there's nobody to take it over. Who's Oh, right, yeah, Anton was one of the children, yeah. Okay. You could still get married before that time comes. Oh, if I'm honest with myself, do I even want to? There's little to look forward to with so few options in Tassing. What about Kraft? If he's such a treasure, why haven't you married him yet? He frightens me sometimes. There's a fissure of unhappiness in his heart that goes all the way through him. Men like that, you can never really get close to them, can you? They want to stay hurting. Maybe I'd have more prospects if I lived in a big city. But the convent would provide for me and bring me closer to God. Why not withdraw from the trials of the world? You know as well as I, it's not safe out here. We don't want to be behind walls. Let's go with this. You could do so much more. You just need to be more ambitious. I wish I were more like you, Magda. But I do not have your passion. I don't even know what I want from life. I wake up, take care of Dad, I go to church, I sleep. I can't imagine what else there could be. I just exist. It's not enough. But joining the poor Clares is a lifelong commitment. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't think you should join the order. Oh, we failed. We told Martha she's not ambitious enough, but we did scoff at the idea of being a nun. If we had encouraged her, she wouldn't have joined. Anyway, you can't just throw your life away over one bad day. But I wouldn't be throwing my life away, Magdalene. Paul wrote that there is no greater reward than living for Christ. I want to live a life with meaning, and I've always admired the sister's dedication. Besides, if I join the order, Dad won't have to worry about what happens to me. I'll pray about it. I think it's time I talk to Mother Franziska and the others. The new person in charge. Okay. So I will gather my courage, what little of it I have. If you think that's best, just be sensible, Martha. I will. Until later, be well. Okay, well, I'm going in here. Gertrude, what's up? God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, Sister Gertrude. Are you doing all right? Father Thomas told us about your father's attack. You were incredibly courageous to run to Dr. Stoltz so quickly, especially when the attacker could have been about. Well, I had to do something. Even if whoever attacked Dad was still there, I had to do something. The Lord was with you that night. Thankful you were not in harm's way. I lit an extra votive candle in St. Satia's shrine for each of you this morning. Let's see what we're going to say. Let's ask her for advice. She seems like, you know, kind of a motherly figure for us. He hasn't been able to get up or walk around without my help. Sister Gertrude, I don't know what to do. Oh, Magdalene. I wish I had better words to share with you, child. All we can do is follow Dr. Stoltz's expertise and trust in the Lord. I'll see if I have any psyllium left in the convent. If you blend it with broth or warm wine, it will heat his brain and prevent infection. Well, let's see what we're going to say. We're not going to even mention God. We're just going to say, I pray you're right. I'm trying to keep busy with the mural, but sometimes I just want to cry. The Lord hears your tears, Magdalene. Take solace in his everlasting goodness. He will turn this for good, no matter what things look like now. He sees beyond time itself, but we are constricted by the present. I've been around long enough to see his fruits even when I thought the devil had burned the fields. Keep faith, Magdalene. I'll do my best. God bless you, sister. God bless you, Magdalene. You see also all of this is like dead. There's obviously been no plants here. You know, it's kind of unkempt. Like, obviously they're still here, but it's like, it's not quite the same. Also, different outfit. Pet son of Mousefanger. I was going to say, if that's Mousefanger, then Mousefanger is a very old cat. But we'll pet son of Mousefanger. Can we pet son of Mousefanger? Don't think so. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Plants. Yep, plants. That's fine. Let's go in here. That's Adena. No, that's Margaret. Okay. Interesting. Hello, Margaret. It's Magdalene. Oh, Magdalene. God bless you. You don't normally come to the convent alone. What brings you here? Not that you're not welcome, of course. It's just... It's always wonderful to have visitors. I had some spare time and thought I would say hello. Oh, well, hello. Haha. It is good to hear your voice, though. I enjoy it when outsiders visit the convent. Do you miss the outside world much, sister? Yes, sometimes. Miss the other Benedictine sisters, especially. She'd never admit it, but Sister Lisbeth had the most wonderful voice. I always stood next to her if I could. Oh, interesting. So the people who are left here are just the ones who chose to stay in Tassing rather than stay with the Benedictine order. The rest of them went off to were reassigned somewhere else effectively. Huh. Okay. So I'm guessing Margaret stayed here because she's familiar with it. And Gertrude stayed here because she, it's where her garden is and it's where she kind of does her things. But nobody else had like a direct connection to Tassing, right? Why stay then? Why didn't you leave when the Benedictines left Kiersau? Truth be told, I was too frightened to leave. Kiersau is my home. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if you're a blind nun and you basically just spend all your time in this convent, it'd probably be quite disorientating to be whisked off somewhere else. I didn't like the idea of becoming accustomed to a new place. Learning the convent's ins and outs was hard enough. I never went outside the convent much anyway. I know where everything is in here, even if it's changed over the years. Sister Gertrude had already planned to stay too. The garden needs tending, and 2 hands make light work. See, the garden. Are these the only 2 who stayed? Oh. Besides, I can't leave Mousefanger behind. You mean the son of Mousefanger? Although maybe she doesn't know. Well. Let's see how we're going to say it here. Well, Kiersau, you know what, let's say this. Of course, she truly is the queen of Kiersau. Has the convent changed very much since the poor Clares arrived? Yes, the food is simpler and some of the prayers are different. All the chores and gardening is the same. Gertrude misses making ink for the scriptorium, but I've enjoyed learning the sisters' new customs. Speaking of which, I should probably return to my chores. Of course, sister. Apologies for interrupting. Not at all, Magdalene. God bless you. Okay. So there's only the 2 of them, plus, I'm guessing somebody running it? Because you just kind of talk about, 2 people for the garden makes light work, so that kind of makes me think that there aren't that many other people here. God bless you, Magdalene. I had been hoping to speak with you. Do you perhaps have a moment? Of course, Mother. How can I help? I'd heard that you had taken up the mural in Rat House after your father's terrible attack. Yes, I'm excited to paint the town's history. Your enthusiasm and insistence is most troubling to some people in town. Some people? Yes, Magdalene, myself included. I understand how you must have struggled with your mother passing while you were so young. Without a maternal figure to guide you, it's no wonder your spirit has wandered and wavered from its nature. What? The pursuit of such trades is not for women, but men. As Paul writes, God calls women to work at home, not in trades. While supporting your father is laudable, taking on his work is imprudent. There are plenty of young men in Tassing worthy of you, or perhaps you have a different calling. I'd like to offer you a place here, among the sisters. I understand you may disagree with my choices, but I'm not going to stop painting. My dad taught me how to run this shop and I love painting. What's wrong with working? Wait, who's saying I'm troubling? And how did you hear that anyway? Aren't you stuck up here? Oh, let's go with the bottom one. You may be an ordained mother, but you're certainly not mine. Magdalene Druckren. On the contrary, your utter disregard for authority and decency shows that you would benefit from convent life. Such impetuousness is precisely why I offer you a place here. I think you would do a great deal of good. Think of my offer, Magdalene. God bless you. Alrighty then. Well, sorry Gertrude, I believe this is the last time we will be visiting. Right. Time to leave here. Martha, you've made a great choice. You'll love it here. You'll get along like a house on fire. Probably a bad thing to say while walking past the Abbey. Anyway, let's head to the meadow. And I think we're going to end the episode standing next to the entrance for the forest. Thank you very much for watching. It is interesting playing as Magdalene. There's different things that you can do, but also, time seems to be moving a lot quicker. I'm assuming after we do this mural, we're going to have another time skip and another time skip and another time skip. We're basically going to jump forward a few months with her time scale, while all of Andreas's were very much like this happens in a day. Also, unless I've got this wrong on the map, none of these objectives are like a timer-based objective. Like, none of them are an investigate and it takes X amount of time. So, to me, I see this as a, I see this as it saying, hey, you can just go around and see what how everyone's doing, what's happening. It's interesting. One thing I am wondering is whether this is meant to be like an epilogue to the game. So the reason it has you go and talk to everyone and it gives you a lot of time is it's because it's like, here's what happened to Matthew, here's what happened to Illuminata, here's what happened to the Convent, here's what happened to Till, here's what happened to the Gertners. You see what I'm meaning? It's meant to be like that. Instead of it being something like a, instead of it being an actual investigation like the rest of the game. But I'm not sure. Also, I just noticed it's Hans Bauer farm, which doesn't bode well for Johann Bauer, who was also at the Abbey. Maybe everyone at the Abbey died. That would not be good. I'm actually thinking, have we met anyone who was at the Abbey? Stoltz wasn't at the Abbey. Father Thomas wasn't at the Abbey. Klaus wasn't at the Abbey. Well, Klaus was at the Abbey, actually. No. Yeah, so Klaus was at the Abbey. He did come along, but he wasn't, like, part of the peasant group. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe everybody we saw in that final bit where we saw, all the soldiers there, maybe all of them are dead. Huh. Alright, on that cheerful note, I'm going to end the episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.